وأرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وتوكل الله وكفى بالله وكيلا. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Again, the reason why I wanted to talk about this, to explore this, in fact, more in depth, is because of late, maybe about since 10 days now, I feel like I can see, like there's a part of me that's here in my body, and I'm living, and I am feeling all the human emotions, like the anger, the joy, the elevation, the excitement, the sadness, all of it. And with me is my qabr. So I seem to have a new unexpected friend with me. And the qabr is cropping up very, very constantly. And I am beautifully blessed in being surrounded with people who also have the sight of the heart. That does not make this experience any less lonely. And I don't know if will be able to put this into words which make sense. But the fact that I'm walking with my qabr next to me is an intensely terrifying and an intensely elevating experience at the same time. And I have nobody to truly share it with. And I know that even if I had the ideal person to share it with, although I have shared it with, in fact, Sophie's just joined, so I have shared it with Sophie. I have tried to put this into words, but will she ever be able to understand the waves which I am experiencing within me? She will not, because I carry my own sea, and she carries hers, and you carry yours. And the seas that we carry within ourselves are so independent and so unique, which is funny because the root word of insan, one of the root words, because one of the root words is the forgetful one, the one who forgets easily. But the other root word for insan is uns, the one who loves, which is made to love, made to connect, created to love, and connect through love. But even in the deepest of our connections, whether those connections we found with our partners or with our siblings or with the soul tribe, with our teachers or our guides, in the deepest of connections, essentially, we're still the ones carrying our own seas. And we feel them as blood, those seas. We feel the pulse of the sea as our heartbeats. But the seas that we carry are unique to us. And those seas are not meant to be seen and held witness to by another. They're just not meant to be held or be seen or held witness to by another, which defeats the purpose of the human journey, I feel, in some ways. Because if we were to only look at the human journey from a place of establishing connections with another and sharing our journey with another, then this is a very limiting space, because they're not ever going to be able to witness my sea. So how am I connecting with another deeply, authentically, truly? It kind of defeats the purpose. But then arises the other fact that within the sea, there is a witness. And I would really want to talk about this concept of the witness. A Shahid, a Shaheed. It's one of the names of Allah as well. Because the witness is the most comforting friend we would ever have. And it's the witness, and I want us to really feel into it. It is actually a witness that we're seeking when we are seeking deep, meaningful relationships. Because a witness, when you have a beautiful, compassionate witness with you, you know what that witness does? From a place of compassion and purity, they see you from a place of compassion and love. They feel you, they hear you. It is that witness that we look for in our intimate relationships. It is those witnesses that we demand our parents to be. It is those witnesses, if our parents have not been able to do that job, that we demand our children to be, or then demand our friends to be, demand our spiritual friends to be, our teachers or guides to be. Hey, is anybody looking at me? Can anybody see me? That's the cry that we give out as we go to connect, as we go into a relational component of our human experience. Can you see me? Can you hear me? And most often than not, because we're looking for witnesses outside ourselves, our cry echoes back to us. And you know what an echoing cry depicts, that it's a chasm that you're speaking to and you're speaking in, and there's nobody else who's answering you. It's just your own voice that's coming back at you. So this chasm where, hey, can anybody see me, reflects back that echo towards you. That chasm is loneliness. That distance between you in the valley and the rest of the universe is loneliness. Or whether it feels like a valley or a chasm surrounded by mountains, or it feels like a room, whatever it is, you're inside it and everybody else is outside it, or everybody else is inside, you're outside. The outsideness of it is loneliness, because we're looking for witnesses to our human experience and we cannot find one. There are none. What we're looking for is a person with their own sea to somehow be able to see our sea. But the sea is so magnificently self-sufficient and so powerful within their own selves. And it has so many elements which are raging within it. And the sea has its own journey. Each sea has its just own journey. That they don't have time, they don't have the space, they don't have access to be a witness to another person's sea. But there is a kind of sea that can be a witness to your sea, even in human relationships. By sea, I mean there's another human being who can be a beautiful witness to your journey, but that human being we can only activate once we have stood witness to our own seas, and once we have activated a Shahid, a Shaheed within ourselves. Once we fully become witnesses to our own human experience, only then can we tune in to another person who is fully in witness to their own human experience. And these two fully sovereign, beautiful, sovereign witnesses of their and to their own experiences, when they come together, that is a beautiful, balanced relationship. And then the seas don't ever have to merge. They dance. They dance around each other and with each other, but they dance independently. But the most beautiful thing is you feel seen by another only because you have fully given yourself permission to see yourself deeply in the depths of you. You've fully given yourself permission to be a Shahid to your own experience. And this becomes very concrete for me personally when I leave the house in the morning. And it's equally present for people who don't leave their house in the morning. In any case, mornings are a beginning where people go off on their separate journeys. Those who are meant to leave the house, leave. Those who are meant to stay behind, stay. So there's a lot of preparation, the rituals that we do in the morning for enabling people to set off on their own respective journeys. But once those rituals have been completed, whether those look like breakfast or du'a or a skar or whatever it is, everybody goes off on their own experience and on their own journey, then you're left on your own. And being left on your own without anything to do is the most terrifying space to be in. And when I say without anything to do, we can distract ourselves with house chores. We can distract ourselves with work. We can distract ourselves with meetings and with uploading social media posts and going into conferences and discussions, or picking and dropping children from school, or planning the menu. We can distract ourselves, but all the time, and I want us to feel all the time, there is a constant sound, a cry from within ourselves, which is saying, am I being seen? The constant question. And it is that question that we are so terrified of sitting down with. Because the answer is a frightening one. I'm not being seen. If I'm looking to be seen by another, then I'm not being seen. Nobody truly understands, and nobody truly is a witness to my journey. And how it began to shift for me is when I began to invite the one true witness to not just my journey, but the journey of every soul that has ever been, and the journey of every soul that ever will be, which is a Shahid, a Shaheed, the pure witness and the only witness. And I will share as to how it's helped me, because in three different aspects of my life, for example, the first one is when I've been in deep pain. And the pain could be a remembrance of the past. It could be a trigger in the present moment. It could be a sense of injustice or betrayal, whatever it is in this moment. And I'm allowing my body to feel the pain deeply, deeply, such that I'm on my knees and I cannot get up from the floor, such that if I'm on the bed, my pillow is soaked with salt water from my eyes because my sea is overflowing in that moment. And in that moment, when my throat is constricted and my chest is restricted, and I am bunched up into a tight bunch of twigs, which can break with a snap of a fist, that is when I say, is anybody standing witness to my pain in this moment? Because if nobody is, then this pain is for nothing. And if this pain is for nothing, then I do not have the access or the resources to hold on to hope. I need a witness to this pain. I need somebody to acknowledge that what I'm going through is valid and it's real. I need somebody to stand witness to my pain. And I have found myself crying out. It's like, is there anybody who is standing witness to my pain in this moment? And this is 12 o'clock at night or in my room, in the bathroom, which is our safe spaces and safe havens for all of us, most of us. And there is a voice that answers. There is a voice that answers, and I know that it's not my human voice. I know the discernment is clear. It's not my human voice. And the voice says, I am. And in that moment, the name of Allah that comes to me is Shahid. He is a witness. He's a witness upon me. And in his mercy of being a witness upon me, you know what he's done for me? He's created, and I found this out very recently, but my God, the sukoon that it brings to my heart. He's created 8 angels specifically for me. Specifically for me, to stand witness over my journey. To stand witness over my journey. And yes, all 8 of them, and of course, 8, the beautiful number of infinity and of infinite, of infinity. The depth, once you begin to feel into the depth of the hikmah with which this universe has been created, 8 angels, infinite witnesses. He, of course, is a Shahid, a Shaheed. But to really customize it for me, to hyper-personalize his algorithm for me, he's created 8 unique, specific angels for me to stand witnesses upon me. So yes, I have a witness upon my pain. And then in moments where I struggle with doing right by myself. And those moments for me, I don't know how it is for everybody else here, but those moments for me are, mashallah, given very often. Opportunity for me to make the wrong decision comes very frequently for me in the 2 major trigger points in my life. And I will not go into what those are, but they come very frequently for me. And in every instance, It is a conversation, it's an inner conversation that I have with myself, right? When an opportunity to take a shortcut of any kind or to dishonor yourself or to not do right by yourself, remember the root word for zulm, and this is la ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. The root word for zulm is to take something away from its right place. And in the shamanic culture, it's called right alignment. It's all the same. It's all the same. Different words, different cultures. It's all so beautifully the same. So when I am struggling with right alignment, when I'm struggling to not do zulm upon myself, and those are real struggles for all of us, huh? Real struggles. Whatever our triggers, whatever our tests, individual tests made, those are real struggles. And I say to, and in those moments when I'm having those continuous inner conversations, when I'm trying to justify the action which I've not yet taken, but I really want to take. So I'm trying to just give myself those justifications. And there are many we will come up with because it's beautifully like we're fully equipped to come up with justifications for not being in right alignment. I'm not saying it's easy. God, and as Allah is my witness, it's not easy, which is why sometimes it takes me personally 1 day or 2 days or 3 days just to put myself back in right alignment. And in that moment, when I finally made that decision, it's like, okay, I am not going to do this. The not part, I will say no to this. I have said no. Is anybody witnessing this moment of pure power and pure strength that I've exhibited? Because this strength will not be witnessed by my family because it's an inner strength, because it's an inner struggle, it's an inner war that I've been fighting, and it's an inner battle. And there are no weapons in this battle except for the vasvasa. There are no weapons in this battle except for my own fears and my own limiting beliefs. Who is standing witness to this inner battle, and who is standing witness to me having, in that moment at least, and may Allah Ta'ala give us the ability to win most of our inner battles, Ameen, with ease and with grace and with honor, Ameen. But who's standing witness to me having won in that moment that battle? Who do I celebrate my victory with? So one is a moment of pain where nobody's standing witness to it. And then he says, I am. And in the other moment, I've just won a very significant battle. हालांकि मैंने मेरे कपड़े भी, you know how in Hollywood, right? When you won something, there's a moment of transformation, an outward looking transformation. And so in more dramatic instances, there's a costume change and a set change, and in the very least, at least a music change. Yeah, there's some input of the senses that cues, hey, this person is back in alignment, right? In this instance, not a sound, not a beep, not a blink, not a movement, not a stir of a leaf, absolute silence. And the silence, who is standing witness over my battle that I've been fighting, as Allah is my witness? It's not easy, as Allah is my witness. I'm plagued with fear and surrounded by the fog of fear, as Allah is my witness. But I'm trying, as Allah is my witness, who is a witness to my trying. And if I win in that moment, and it is still an if, because remember, kalb is one that's constantly turning. It's never a continuous, it's not a continuum, it's not a taken for granted moment, right? So if in that moment I have won, then who's standing witness? Who's going to celebrate my victory with me? Who do I share this with? And most instances, when we're struggling with right alignment, they come drenched in frequencies of shame and guilt. So it's not like you take people into confidence anyway, most of the time, because they are deeply personal inner battles. Who's standing witness? And there's a voice that comes back to me, which is not an echo of my own voice, but it is in many ways, because it is my higher self, which is my Allah. And he says, I am Madiha Noor. I am. And the sense of relief that I feel, my heart muscle palpably relaxes. My breath palpably expands. My hands physically relax. My shoulders tangibly, I'm exhausting the English grammar right now. My shoulders tangibly kind of, soften. into ease, because there is one who is standing witness to my journey and to my inner battle. And not only to my inner battle, but to my struggle before that. And then win or lose in that moment, okay, that's something that we can celebrate if you're won. Or if he's been standing witness to your struggle and you've not been able to put yourself back into right alignment, that's okay. Because he saw you struggle, right? He saw you struggle. There's not a single second where he's not standing witness upon you. And in the third instance, no matter who we are in this call or whoever's listening, whether we are married or not married, whether we're mothers or not mothers, whether we're daughters or not daughters anymore, to our parents, and may Allah Ta'ala give them a most beautiful elevation of their soul and most beautiful relief of the soul from His and of His Rahmah. Ameen. We have felt this distance from the people that we love most deeply, where we're not being able to, where they can't hear us. And we may shout or scream, or we may cry, or may stay silent, or we may just go on with the day, but they can't hear us. So this absence of love, the third instance. And in that absence of love, you seek a friend. You seek a companion. You seek someone who has all the time in the world to sit down and listen to your story in the most boring details and the most repetitive details possible. And that is a Shahid, a Shaheed. And you have the most private conversations in that absence of love with him. And I'm sharing, of course, only my own journey and my own story. You have the most private conversations with him. Conversations which go like, hey, Allah Ta'ala, this body is getting old. I'd like to be with someone. What's going on in your universe? Where is my divine partner? Or I'd like to speak to my daughter. I don't want only to be her caretaker. I want to be a friend. I want her to be my friend. And we don't share the same language because my daughter is on the autism spectrum. So what's the deal? What's going on? And there's a voice that answers. And it is not my own voice, and yet it is. And I said, okay, where's my friend? He's going to hold my hand and walk with me. And he says, I am a Shahid, a Shaheed. And when you have a witness to your pain, and when you have a witness to your wins and your battles, and when you have a witness to your walking the path as your friend, the witness is also your friend. Your experiences can be your sea, the one that you're carrying within, feels fulfilled. And when your sea feels fulfilled, then all beautiful things of fulfillment in this whole entire universe begin to be magnetized towards you. But first, the sea must feel fulfilled. And the most intimate and intrinsic need of the human condition is to be seen. Is to be seen, to be witnessed, and to be remembered. And my God, how we distort the structures of the world and of our own soul in our crazy desire to be seen and to be recognized and to be remembered. That's how the biggest power structures in the world are operating, based on this primal human need, depicted by the baby which is first born. It cries out, do you hear me? I am alive. And those needs, which are our divine birthright, we are created to connect in and with and through love. These needs, which are our divine birthright, are meant to be met, but first we are meant to meet them first. And in our journey of fulfilling our own need to be seen and heard and felt, we are asked to invoke the witness, the one, Ash-Shahid, Ash-Shaheed. I want to go in a little bit more detail because for those of us struggling with loneliness, the two names of Allah, which break through the constructs of fear and break through the chasm of that valley and meet you in your heart, are a Shaheed, al-Haqq. So Ya Shaheed, Ya Haqq. Ya Shaheed, Ya Haqq. These two names are invoked to dissolve the barriers of separation from you and your creator, from the person on the journey and the witness of you on the journey. A Shaheed, al-Haqq. Ya Shahid, Ya Haqq. So a Shaheed, in very basic terms, is something that a Shahid, yeah, a Shaheed, they're used interchangeably. It directs us towards outer knowledge, knowledge that can be perceived by the senses. So Shahid means a being who knows by seeing clearly with open eyes. But because with open eyes is used for utilizing all the faculties of our senses, so one who perceives the world clearly through all their senses is called a Shahid. So a Shahid is an outward manifestation through the senses of all knowledge. And another basic meaning is given by the word, see, we connect. You see how these dots, we don't even have to connect them. You'll see them, subhanAllah, you witness them connecting on their own. Another basic meaning is given by the form shahud. And the shahud, the root word for shahud means the one who is present, who is present. And the word is opposed to gharib, which means who is absent. So the shahada that we take, the form ash-shahada, means to cause to be present. You are invoking your witness to be here right now. Subhanallah. Which is why we are asked to take shahada. Well, I don't know if we're asked to do it in hadith, but I do it, so I'm not going to make is take the shahada every morning. La ilaha illallah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wahdahu la sharika lahu, ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. You take the shahada every morning because shahada is invoking, activating the shahid, causing them to be present. It's the abracadabra. It's shahada is the abracadabra of the magical realms. And not just that, it's not a shahid who is a witness to your inner universe only. No, when you are, remember, shahid means the one which perceives knowledge through all the senses. So who are you invoking when you're invoking a shahid? To stand witness on your very, very human journey with all your senses. So you actually invoking a physical witness to your physical human journey. Nothing inner about this right now, nothing unseen. It's a tangible, palpable shahid that you're invoking in your on your human journey. Knowledge of the visible world is a shahid. It is related to mashhud, which means the present moment. So in this present moment, not a generic, oh, like, please, like, stand witness over me as I go through my day. No, in this moment, be here. It's the 911. In this moment, be here now. That's the abracadabra that we are using to invoke it. And remember, when we say a shahid, we are calling upon a witness to stand witness upon our human journey in this dunya where the word dun means whatever is near. You see, a shahid is an immediate response unit to you in this dunya to stand as a witness over your human experience in your what is essentially a very lonely human journey. It's meant to be. But can also be witnessed by another once you have successfully begin to invoke the witness within yourself and upon yourself, which is your creator. And the reason why we invoke a Shahid, a physical witness over our human experience, is because mostly we feel we're limited by our senses, and we only perceive what we feel. But the invocation of a Shahid opens, of course, our outer eye by opening the inner eye. So a Shahid deepens the faculties of our senses such that we may be able to observe the outer world through the inner eye. Because, and it makes sense logically also, right? Like, let me just put this for you. Logically, it makes sense. When you feel fulfilled inside in the sea of you, where you have a constant witness to every turn and skip of your human journey, you have that witness with you constantly and you feel fulfilled. From that place of fulfillment, you would automatically begin to look at the world. That means your eyes, आपकी आंखें भरी हुई होंगी जिनसे आप दुनिया को देख रहे हो, आपके कान भरे हुए, आपके होंठ भरे हुए, आपके हाथ भरे हुए, आपके दिमाग भरे हुए, आपके क्योंकि आपका दिल भरा हुआ है. So when you're looking and you're present in the world from a fulfilled space, then the outer faculties, the outer senses automatically begin to deepen, automatically begin to look at the world through a lens. A Shahid, the witness, and just visualize it. If I were to say, okay, visualize or tune into the energy of a Shahid, it's a witness. And generally, when we first tune in to the feeling of being a witness, we connect with the eyes, right? And yes, we understand that it's a witness that employs all of the faculties of the senses, but primarily it's the eye, the lens with which we view the world. So when our inner sea is fulfilled by having been seen constantly and persistently through all the waves of us, through all the moonlit and the moonless nights of us, then the lens with which we look at the world begins to deepen in that feeling of fulfillment. And it is this feeling of fulfillment that we then step out into the world with. And this feeling of fulfillment then is not equal to loneliness. It is a sovereign sea at peace in its depths, and it's at peace with its storms. And the presence of the moon is beautiful, and the absence of the moon is beautiful. Because in the presence of the moon, we have a witness to our light. In the absence of the moon, we have a witness to our darkness. And so when you begin to use the word Shahid, there are different ways that a spiritual traveler reaches the maqam of Shahada. Because the maqam of Shahada means I bear witness. Okay, so beautiful. The maqam of Shahada means by having invoked, by reciting, by invoking the name, by doing the zikr ash-shahid, you have done it so beautifully and so persistently. You have invoked and become familiar with your witness so beautifully and so persistently that now you have become the witness to his malkiyat, to his divinity, to his universe, you see? So when we invoke the witness, we become the witness. And when we become the witness, it is the most unlonely place to be. And it is the maqam of Shahada. That's why we are asked to take Shahada and to remind ourselves what Shahada is, to invoke the witness so that we may become the witness. And how we reach the maqam of Shahada is through 3 steps. One, of course, is zikr. It's a remembrance of God that transforms our hearts and eyes to see through the outer world into the inner world, and then through the inner world back to the outward world. So this infinity, this constant flow from the out to the in and the in to out, is how the zikr transforms our heart so that it gives witness, shahid, to the depths of reality. It adds dimensions to the reality that we are witnessing. Another method of transformation, of becoming, of being in Shahada, is ziyarah. Ziyarat, जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं. Travel for the sake of knowledge, visiting the tombs of saints, visiting beautiful historical sites, to take love from or to learn from. Both are equally valid. Because Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, right? Do they not travel through the land so that their hearts and minds may learn wisdom and the ears may also learn to hear? For truly, it is not the eyes in their heart that are blind, but the eyes of the heart in their breast that are blind. So by traveling in search of knowledge, the eyes of the heart may also open. So one is zikr, the second one is ziyarah. And the third one is, we've heard of this in different forms, but it is die before you die, Haqq Jadid. And it is done with the breath. In other words, it's also called zikri khafi, but it's done only with the breath. Because Allah has the capacity to renew creation with every breath, with each inhale and before each exhale, in the moment between the inhale or the exhale. In that moment between the inhale and the exhale, we invoke a Shahid. And as we begin to do it more constantly in that moment between, where there is no time, there is no space, when if you do not exhale, you're forever alive. You can travel multiple dimensions in that inhale and live there should you choose. It is in that moment that we invoke a Shahid. That's the third, which is Haqq Jadid. All three of them to be in the state of Shahada. And when we reach that state of Shahada, by reach, I mean achieve. By achieve, I mean tune in. Because both reach and achieve somehow connote a destination. And it's not a destination. It's an active, forever alive frequency that we tune into with either zikr, through traveling, through ziyarah, mindful traveling, or through our breath. And when we reach this state, when we tune in, my mind is, mashallah, actively alive right now. So when we tune in to this state of Shahada, that is when, after the dark suggestions of the nafs are quieted, the dark suggestions will say, hey, you're so alone. Hey, who's there to witness you? Hey, there's nobody here who can hear you. Hey, you're in a valley on your own. Hey, you're on this room on your own. You think these people love you? They do not. They don't even see who you are. They don't see your darkness. They don't see your light. What are you talking about? So after these dark suggestions of the nafs are quieted, one realizes the reality of we are nearer to him than the rope of the vein in the neck. That's what begins to manifest itself. When we begin to approach Allah's Shahid, Allah as a witness. And you know, the word for transformation that we're achieving or we're trying to achieve through the zikr of a Shahid is taqallub, where the root word is qalb. And so one of the names of Allah is Ya Muqallib Ya Qulubi, which is said at the end of some prayers. And Al-Muqallib is the one who transforms hearts and eyes. It's a transformational, like the ultimate transformer. And the fruits of this transformation into Allah's Shahid, because as we invoke the Shahid, we become the Shahid, we tune in to the frequency of Shahada. The fruits of this transformation are immense, because you know who else are called Shahid? Angels. Allah Ta'ala has spoken of his angels as a Shahid. You know who else are called Shahid? The Insan-e Kamil, the prophets, which have been sent upon us as Shahid upon that particular group of people in that particular set of time. And that is what Allah Ta'ala says. On that day, which is the day of Qiyamah, we shall raise up from every religious community who? A Shahid, the seeker, the one who has invoked the Shahid and has become the Shahid. And his or her having become the Shahid has begun to view the world from the lens of the Shahid. And when they begin to view the world from the lens of the Shahid, the seas are at peace. And therefore, when the seas are at peace, then other people come magnetized to them and they become Shahid. They become guides for their own communities or for their own groups of people. Very beautiful thing that they go on to talk about. I'm, of course, referring to positions of the heart, which is my favorite kuan of knowledge. Other than many other, and I feel it, right? Because there are many other springs of knowledge that Allah Ta'ala has for the lens with which I'm viewing my world. I have springs of knowledge that I have access to, and I have a kuan of knowledge. And one of the kuans of knowledge is this Khubsurat Kitab, which is Physicians of the Heart, written by 4 Sufis. So this is the whole path of divine knowledge. And that's why a Shahid and a Ya Shahid, Ya Haqq are meant to be invoked together. Because the whole path of divine knowledge is an uncovering of reality. It's the uncovering of Al-Haqq. So basically, there is a present moment in time, which is mashhud, which comes from the same word as Shahid. Remember present, a shahud, mashhud, present. And through the power of a Shahid, through the power of this presence in the present moment, you can penetrate into the heart of reality and the heart of Haqq. And what I want us to visualize is a Shahid when we invokes, you see, all names of Allah are frequencies, right? And depending on how we like to tune into frequencies, I'm a visual tuner. So when I visualize the frequency of a Shahid, it's a whirlpool. And there is a center, as we know, of the whirlpool, which is Al-Haqq. That center is the center of the sea as well. Because the whirlpool is dunya, as I see it, and the center is the sea of me, the sea of Al-Haqq, the sea of potential reality, the sea of quantum field, right? That is the center. And a Shahid becomes my penetrating arrow that takes me through the worlds of that whirlpool, through it right to the center, such that now I'm sitting in the center and I'm observing a Shahid. Now I am being the witness to the whirlpool around me. But because I have now accessed the center of the whirlpool, I am centered. And when I am centered, then the whirlpool around me feels like a dance as opposed to a whirlpool, because now I'm witnessing it from a different space. And so a Shahid, invoking the Shahid upon your journey in first step makes us feel less lonely. In the second step, empowers us to fill our own selves with the light such that we become the light. It is a symbiotic, beautiful dance that we're asked to dance. And the process of transformation into witnessing, becoming Shahid, witnessing the dance of the world, is described in 3 stages in Sufism. The first one is Mukashafa. The second one is Muaina. And the third one is Mushahida. It's Mushahida, that moment of Mushahida, that frequency of Mushahida is what we're asked to tune into, because Mukashafa is momentarily you feel the veil being removed from your eyes. Momentarily, there is a strike of awareness. But if we're not ready or if we're not willing, we tend to go back to sleep. And now what these things look like, what these moments look like, are big turnaround moments in our life, which we otherwise would call wake-up calls or tragedies, which empower us to do mukashifa, where the veil is temporarily lifted. And each wake-up call is an invitation of mukashifa. It is temporary when it is not practiced, but in that moment, in those instances, in those events, when we lose somebody that we love, or we lose something that we love, whether it's our health or wealth or happiness or children or parents or loved ones, who, whatever, when we experience loss of a deep, deep, deep nature, that is mukashafa. The veil temporarily lifts from our eyes. And the reason why those things have to happen is so that the veil is temporarily lifted from your eyes. But then, if we take that moment where the veil is temporarily lifted from our eyes of deep loneliness, because that's what grief does to us, deep loneliness, if we take that moment and we practice leaving the veil be unlifted, that is muayna. We begin to live in that frequency. We begin to practice that frequency. We at least begin to get curious about that frequency. Okay, what you mean world is not how I thought it to be? And you mean this is how it's meant to be? You mean, all right, let me explore this part of it more. Let me change this and this and this. Let me leave this and this. Let me focus more on that. That is muayna. And that means it's a more permanent state where we are now tuned in without the veil on our eyes, where we are refusing to go back to sleep. That is muayna. And the last one, which is mushahida, is as we navigate through that whirlpool on the back of that arrow to go straight to the heart of that whirlpool and become the eyes through which we view the world, become Shahid. That is mushahida. And this is eternal. This is eternal, because once you have activated that frequency, you may be going in and out of that frequency, but you know that that frequency exists. That means you have activated it for yourself. It's already activated, of course, but you have activated it for yourself. Your own personal portal is now open into that frequency. And that is a powerful, powerful place to be. And that is when you combine a Shahid with Al-Haqq. And without going into the details of the nature of truth, and Al-Haqq is truth, right? Just want to talk about the simplest thing that blew my mind, which is the root word of Al-Haqq is Halq. And you know what Halq is? A spider web. Subhanallah. And I'll share why I'm saying Subhanallah so vehemently in this moment. Because Al-Haqq is the basic field of reality, which includes all the possibilities and potentials manifested and unmanifested. So your own qalb, when activated, is al-haq. Al-haq is a physical space. It's a physical frequency. By physical, I mean it's a tangible frequency. It is your own quantum field of all reality, manifest and unmanifest. That means things that we can perceive and things that we cannot perceive is all within al-haq. Things that have come to be, things that will never come to be is al-haq. Things that have happened, things have yet to happen is al-haq. Things that we can see, things that till the end of time, till the final veil is lifted, we will not be able to see, even if we are the most honored of ascetics and most honored of spiritual guides, still will not be able to see, is al-haq. Because the final veil is still yet to be lifted on the day of Qiyamah. That field, that frequency is al-haq. And now why the spider web? Because look at the nature of the spider web. It is the veils of both light and dark. कहीं अंधेरा है और कहीं से रोशनी आ रही है. It is a beautiful intricacy of both form and emptiness. कहीं से भरा हुआ है, कहीं से खाली है. Subhanallah. It is a most beautiful form of something which is absolute because it exists and something that's relative. Subhanallah, al-Haqq. And so when you combine a Shahid with ya Shahid with ya Haqq, what you're actually saying is, Ya Allah, take me, become my witness, lead me to the place of mushahida, of becoming the witness. As I become the witness, give me the lens which is right for me, because my access to the quantum field of al-Haqq, because al-Haqq is unmanifest as well as manifest. And my access to it will only be through my own lens, will only be through my own unique ability, because I'm a beautiful, unique soul. There is no soul like this that will ever, there is no soul like mine that will ever be created till the end of time. Subhanallah, so unique. And the uniqueness of my soul, I have a unique lens, I have a unique way of being a witness to this universe, which is why my soul is indispensable to this universe. The soul of a beggar sitting under the tree, or one begging on the road, or a soul of a robber, or a soul of a murderer, a soul of a rapist, indispensable to the fabric of this universe. Unique, unique souls who have done, some of them have done zulm upon themselves, but beautifully unique souls with as unique witnesses to the creation of Allah, to the existence of this universe in all its manifest potential. And also through my own lens, my unmanifest potential. And that unique lens is what I'm asking my Allah to activate for me in that field of al-Haqq. Because what that means is, it's like, you know, when you want to, there's white light and you want to see colors, you put a prism in front of it so that it divides into the different frequencies of colors, right? It's that prism that we're invoking with Ya Haqq. Because beyond that, it's just white light. It just is. Al-Haqq is just, it just is. But to personalize it for me, to simplify it, say that I have my deeply personalized Instagram account that I've been using for about 5 to 6 years. That means everything in it is unique, right? Based on who I am and my unique usage of it. And I lose my account and I'm asked to log into Mehreen's account and start using Instagram from Mehreen's account. There is no way, because Mehreen is a different soul. And so the complete dissonance that I'd feel, and it is a dissonance, it's like, it's a complete dissonance that I'd feel logging in to from Mehreen's account and experiencing the world through her lens, it's unbelievably different. And चलो मेहरीन तो फिर भी दूर की है, मैं अपने भाई बहन, अब मियाँ बेटा बेटी माँ किसी को भी ले लो, unka lens is so unique. So al-Haqq makes it your lens, gives you access to the information that's relevant to you, that brings you opportunities which are relevant to you, that opens your inner eye to your own unmanifest, unique unmanifest potential that is relevant to you. Then you don't care about like ABC's unmanifest potential and their dreams. And what is unmanifest potential, by the way? It is our dreams and our desires. And so Ya Haqq gives you access to be able to manifest your own unmanifest uniquely for your own self. You see how unique, how powerfully personalized, how hyper personalized, how super hyper mega like quantum personalized is this experience. This is a Shahid Ya Shahid Ya Haqq. And in this invocation of Ya Shahid Ya Haqq, where you have your own, you have a witness on your own sea, such that you have now become the witness to your own sea. And now, not only have you become a witness to your own sea, you also have a beautiful telescopic lens with which to view the world. It's like traveling the world constantly from being while never moving from that seabed of yours. What loneliness then? And then, yes, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but when it does, when we falter because we must, because we're human, and when we feel pain because Allah, and may Allah always enable for us, always enable us to feel the piercing, shrill cry of pain in our hearts, because that means we're alive. We will feel all of that, but never lonely in our feeling of the whole entire human experience. In our pain, there is a Shahid until we become a Shahid to our own pain. In our struggles and our even inner battles, there's a Shahid until we become a witness to our own struggles and we become a Shahid. And in our deepest loneliness of feeling that we're walking alone, we have a friend holding our hand, not just a friend, but one who is Shahid upon your journey, such that you become their friend as well, because you become a Shahid. And not only that, then you have a magical telescopic lens then to look at all the beautiful scenery around you as you're walking down that road. And then when things happen, you still have, you have your Shahid, and you are Shahid as well. And because you're holding the lens which makes the field of Haqq unique to you, then beautiful, magical things will always continue to happen for you and to you. And I swear to God, no matter what kind of life, and it's not a challenge, but no matter what kind of life, no matter how hard, no matter how hard, no matter how hard you have led, when you become a Shahid to your own journey, because you have your Shahid with you, you know that the best is yet to come. And that every day, tomorrow is better than today. And after that, it just is, it just is. And then al-haq, because you have that lens, it is the field of unmanifested potential. Then the universe must deliver on your desire to be constantly in a state of receiving and to never give up and to never give in. So this powerful resonance, feel it, this powerful resonance of this sovereign sea, Shahid, Ya Haqq. And now visualize when this sovereign sea meets another sovereign sea. My God, I'm so excited. And we meet those sovereign seas as our soul tribes, our friends. We're, oh my God, we're speaking finally the same language. And here's what begins to shift, right? What we otherwise in worldly terms call our best friends. We call our best friends when we are going through a very tough time, and we tell them the details of that tough time in minute, like intricacies of it. Okay. But when we learn to become a Shahid to our own experience, we give ourselves space to go through those big feelings, those big primal, strong feelings first on our own, and then share those feelings with them. You see the difference? You're not relying on them to help you either not feel those feelings or to somehow help you feel, for them to feel them for you. None of that is possible. But that's how we use our best friends. But now, as sovereign seas, when we meet a beautiful soul on a similar journey, you first will feel the big feelings because you have your own, a Shahid. You have it. You're your own witness. And then you share your story with them, and then they become the witness to your witness. And that's always a plus. And it's a beautiful, that's uns. That's love, because now you don't need anything from them. But it's such an honor that they too can witness you. So it's such an honor to be able to share your journey with them. It's an honor for you, it's an honor for them, and it's not about need anymore. And then can you visualize the relationships? And so just to wrap it up, one of the biggest commitments that we can make to another in any relationship, in any conscious relationship. Again, whether as parents, as children, as partners, if two individuals are both in it as conscious, aware individuals to start a relationship, and we can restart a relationship anytime, right? So even if you want to take this vow with your children, or you take this vow with your friend, or take this vow with your partner, whoever you have as your friend on the journey, as your outward friend on the journey, the most beautiful, I feel, for me, the most beautiful oath, a vow that you can make with them and make to them, sorry, is I stand witness over my own journey, and it'll be my honor if you allow me to stand witness over yours. And for them to repeat this, I stand witness over my own journey, and it'll be an honor if you would allow me to stand witness over yours. That's it. That's it. That's a conscious relationship. That's a conscious relationships, because we're taking beautiful, deep, complete responsibilities, fully enabled by our creator, because he is a Shahid to us for our own journeys. And we feel a sense of honor in sharing that with another honorable, honored soul. It is this honor that we build relationships on and with and through once we begin to stand witness of our own journeys. So thank you for being here. I'm just going to stop the recording.